What happens when you skip breakfast for a whole month? For the next 30 days, I'll be trying intermittent fasting. For some, this might not be a big deal, but for me, it is. You see, breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. I look forward to it. It's the first thing I do when I wake up. I never ever skip it, and if for whatever reason I need to have it later, I feel miserable. I hate it. If something governs my life in such a way, it definitely needs to change. On a more physical level, the main reason I want to do this is because I've always had digestive issues, and after doing several 24-hour fasts, I've noticed it helps me tremendously. So I have a few goals in mind with this experiment. Better digestion, more energy, and better focus in the mornings. I do want to be clear though, I'm not doing this to try and lose weight. I will be monitoring my weight fluctuations though, just because I'm curious. So I started day one weighing 57.3 kilograms or around 126 pounds. And this is what I looked like. It is 10:45 right now. I'm going to have breakfast. I had dinner last night at 8:30, I think, so it's been a little over 14 hours. For the first 4 days, the fast is supposed to last around 13 hours, but I was really tired, so I struggled to get up this morning. It's 9:51 p.m. I just finished dinner. I'm going to have a medjool date as dessert. Unfortunately, it got a little bit too late with dinner today. Hopefully for the next few days I can get my shit together. Okay, so I think I didn't get off to the best start. I'm having really bad period cramps. I'm also pretty hungry. I think I didn't eat enough for dinner, so I'll have to plan things a little bit better going forward. I still have around half an hour left for breakfast. Period cramps and hunger are not a great combo, but it's normally not that big of a struggle for me to fast between 13 and 14 hours, but I just have to eat dinner earlier than I did yesterday. This is, however, not the first time I try intermittent fasting. I tried it once before and couldn't make it over a week. But lately I've been doing a lot of research about fasting, and it turns out that it can be pretty challenging for women because of their hormones. So after looking online, I found a fasting protocol that is based on women's hormone cycles, and that is what I'm going to follow. In the book there is a rough fasting plan. What I'll be following is specifically the 30-day fasting reset, which is a little bit more complicated. It turned out to be more complicated than I expected, but stay tuned for that later. I just finished having dinner. It's 9:45 p.m, so not really earlier than yesterday, but I'll figure it out. I downloaded a fasting app so that it's easier to track. Start the fast now. 10:42 right now. I'm ending my fast. This morning I wasn't feeling that hungry, but I did have a slight headache. I also kind of felt like sleeping in just so I wouldn't have to wait for my breakfast. I've also noticed this morning that my bloating has reduced a lot. What I really want to know is if at the end of the month, when I usually have a lot more bloating, it will have improved or not. It's 10:30. I've been fasting for almost 14 hours. I really wasn't planning on fasting for so long, but I just didn't want to have to wait for breakfast, so I guess I had dinner way too early. Anyways, I weighed myself this morning and I've lost a lot of weight. I'm not really sure why that is. I'm not sure if it's because of my period or just water weight, but I've lost like, I think 3.5 pounds, 1.5 kilograms in 3 days. Anyways, finishing my fast now. I don't know what's happening to my body right now, but I'm getting really hungry before lunch, way earlier than I'm used to. And I've also had this weird underlying anxiety since yesterday. I feel weird. This morning I wasn't as hungry when I woke up, so that's great. I guess my body is getting used to this. But today I'm increasing my fasting window to 15 hours, and then from tomorrow it will be 17 hours, so I guess I'll probably be hungry again. It is 8:30. I just finished having dinner. Today I've felt way better than the rest of the day so far, and I haven't been that hungry throughout the day. I wasn't even really that hungry for dinner. I am starting my fast. Last night I went to bed pretty late, so I was already hungry, and I've had a pretty rough night, and I've been doing my best to get stuff done even though I was really hungry and tired. But anyway, it's a Saturday tradition to have some bakery goods, so even though it's not the best food to break a fast, that's what I'm going to have. I have less than half an hour to end my first 17-hour fast, and I'm not that hungry, but I have a little bit of a headache. The struggle so far is to keep myself busy and try to do something productive rather than distract myself from the hunger. I'm alternating between thoughts of, oh, this is not that bad, and then I freaking hate this. This is horrible. I'm hungry. So the only thing now is, what am I going to have for breakfast? I don't want to be eating 600 calories less every day for a whole week. So I think I'm going to have what I had for lunch yesterday, and then probably make myself a smoothie halfway through the day and then have a normal dinner. Honestly, at this point, I can't wait. My stomach is grumbling right now, so yeah. Kind of horrible, but not that bad. I don't know what happened, but the 17-hour fast really messed my digestive system up. I've had like stomach aches and weird stuff going on. I didn't make any smoothie or anything just because I wasn't hungry. I'm not actually that hungry right now, but I just made myself a lentil and artichoke salad, and this, just to substitute the smoothie, is just a huge dessert of yogurt with protein powder, berries, cacao nibs, medjool dates, and hazelnuts. Hopefully I'll be finished before 9 p.m, so that will leave me until 2 p.m. fasting tomorrow. Today I made it through my second 17-hour fast. It was way easier. I wasn't as hungry, but I do get headaches multiple times throughout the day. And according to the plan, there are 3 more days of 17-hour fasts, but today I want to do a 24-hour one. That is the main reason why I decided to do these 30 days of intermittent fasting in the first place. And that is because I've been doing a 24-hour fast once a month for the last 3 or 4 months. And it has really helped my digestive system and my gut in general. So even though I'm doing the intermittent fast, I wanted to throw a 24-hour one this month too. So it's a bit later than usual, but we are having dinner now. It is 9:41 p.m. and I'm starting the 24-hour fast right now. Today the fast was going great, the best it's been so far, until I got to around hour 16 or 17, and I just started getting really cold, having headaches, and well, I basically just had to lie down and take a nap. But I'm going to do my first ever workout while doing a 24-hour fast. We are starting by doing some yoga just to ease into things, and then try to do a 1-hour weightlifting session. We'll see how that goes. The 24-hour fast is over. It's 9:52 p.m. so we are going to have our dinner now, or breakfast or whatever. We are going to break our fast with a massive salad. I'm pretty happy. This has been the easiest 24-hour fast I've done so far. And after working out, I felt way better, so that's great. I've also noticed that taking some electrolytes helps, especially with the hunger, so that's something to note for the rest of the days this month. So for the past few days I've been having a lot of cravings throughout the day. Maybe the 24-hour fast wasn't the best idea in that regard, but as I've had an eating disorder in the past, I just need a mental break. So today I've been fasting for around 13 hours and I'm going to cut it short. I'm not going to be doing 17 hours. I'll get back to that tomorrow, but for now just a little mental break so that I can just stop thinking about food for so many hours. Well, having breakfast was great. I really needed that mental break, but maybe I relaxed a bit too much because I almost forgot I was doing this intermittent fasting thing. So anyways, I just finished having dinner. It is 9:15. Yeah, I just started the fast. To be honest, the hunger is not that big of a struggle, but the mental aspect of it, having to restrict when I eat, and I don't know, it's really annoying and for me really draining. Like right now, for example, I got kind of distracted having dinner, and I usually have dessert, but I leave some time in between. But now I have to like force myself to eat quickly just so that I don't start the fast too late in the day. I eat pretty intuitively in general, so I don't really think that much about it, and this has forced me to think about food more. I know some people say that for them it's easier because they have a bunch of hours while they are fasting when they don't need to worry about food, but that's really not been the case for me. I have ended up thinking about food all the time, which I normally don't do, so yeah, that part I'm definitely not enjoying. It's pretty funny that yesterday I was complaining about always thinking about food, because it turns out that today for the first time I actually forgot about it. I wasn't that hungry or anything. It's 1:30 and I only started to get hungry about half an hour ago, and until then I was busy doing stuff, but I was really focused and kind of didn't even remember that I had to eat. So I guess that's progress. I've also felt for the first time like I had a lot of energy, so I'm even thinking about making intermittent fasting something more regular, maybe something that I would do during the week just to get work done as quick as possible first thing in the morning. Yeah, I don't know, we'll see. It's 2:21 p.m. I've been fasting for 17 hours and 6 minutes, so I'm going to end my fast now. I'm just going to eat some yogurt with fruit because I have to make lunch for my partner, and I'm probably going to have lunch with her, so that's just to tie me over until like 3 or 4 p.m. Today has been the best day of fasting so far, so I'm really excited about that. Today I'm starting a new phase. This corresponds to the ovulation phase, and it's going to be for the next 4 days where I'll be fasting for 13 hours. To be honest, the thing that makes me the happiest is being able to have some milk in my coffee. I'm not really that hungry. I think I've finally adjusted to fasting a little bit. I've actually been fasting for around 14 hours. 13 is a bit tough for my schedule. I would have to eat dinner later, and I've tried to keep my dinner at the same time every day, so I'm starting to see patterns and figure out what fasting window would work best with my lifestyle and schedule, which I think would be between 14 to 16 hours. I'm rambling now, so I'll just end my fast now. 13 hours and 57 minutes. Yay. Today is Saturday and I'm going to cut my fast short because my partner had to work today, so she got up really early and got me some baked goods which are still hot, and that's like one of my favorite things in the world. So I'm just for half an hour going to cut it short and have some hot croissants, even if people say they are bad for you. I don't really care, they are delicious. So I'm still having a smoothie as usual. 20 minutes left. It's 9:34 a.m. so it's really early, but if I wait any longer they are going to get cold, so I'm just going to eat them. Today is the last day of 13-hour fasts, even though it's been almost 14 hours. Then we're heading to the final stretch with, I think, 5 days of 15-hour fasts. I didn't record anything the last couple of days just because it's been a bit chaotic here. We've adopted a baby chicken, so that's why I'm having breakfast here, because it's on the dining table. I've started to get used to this, and 13 hours doesn't really feel like I'm fasting at all, really. I've also noticed that I'm not as lazy in the morning, if that makes sense. Like, usually I'm hungry, so I'm like, I want to have breakfast as soon as possible, and some stuff I just can't be bothered doing. But I've noticed that I'm taking more time to do stuff right when I wake up, and even though I could have eaten sooner, I don't really care that much, if that makes any sense. I just get what I need to get done and then move on with breakfast. So that is something I'm really enjoying about this, and also like the discipline of holding myself back in a sense, even though depending on the day it feels a bit restrictive. Right now I'm kind of enjoying it. It's 15 past 10. I've been fasting for 13 hours and 43 minutes and I'm ending my fast right now. It is 9:30 p.m. I just had dinner like 20 minutes ago, so today I'm starting the last phase of this intermittent fasting protocol, which is 15-hour fasts. The biggest thing I've noticed with this is that it's really complicated to know which days, and I've constantly have to look back at the book to see how many hours for how many days and whatever. I think I even missed a day somehow, I don't know. Also, I've noticed that the 13 or 14-hour fast don't really make that big of a difference. For me, it's like I feel pretty much like I usually do, so I don't really know what the point is, but I guess just to make sure that I don't snack at night or stuff like that. We'll see after these, I think, 4 or 5 days. Today I'm kind of pissed off. I slept like crap last night, and the idea of having to wait like 3 hours to have breakfast really irritated me this morning. If I have a really bad night of sleep, maybe fasting for 15 or 16 hours isn't the best idea. I'm not only tired, but my mood is terrible. There is obviously an emotional component to food, but I'm definitely hungry, and I think I finally figured out why I keep having headaches. It's not because of the hunger or fasting or anything like that. It's just because, as I don't want to drink black coffee, I just don't drink coffee until like 12 or 1 p.m. So the caffeine headache starts to creep in slowly but surely. Maybe other people don't have this, but I quit coffee this year for like a month, and I had headaches for 9 days straight, so I'm pretty sure that's the reason. My phone broke, so I don't have the fasting app, but who cares? I finished eating at 9 p.m. It's over 12, so that's over 15 hours. And I'm hungry. I'm going to eat. Bye. So I have something to confess. Yesterday I didn't fast. I have been sleeping really terribly for the last few days, and turns out the headaches are not because of coffee. I've had migraines for like 3 days. I think it's because of stress. I'm pretty stressed out right now, so not sleeping, being stressed, and fasting is like a pretty horrible combo. So I decided just to skip the fasting for a day. Well, decided. Really couldn't bear the idea of pushing through it. I just didn't have the mental energy. Today I did fast. I started my fast yesterday at 8:40 p.m. It is 12 right now, so I'm going to break my fast. The thing that has also made everything worse, I think, is because I have my period in like 8 or 9 days, and in the program it says from days 20 to 30, but like I have my period on day 28, so 10 days before that is pretty much when I started to feel really bad, at day 18 more or less. So yeah, I don't know, 8:40 p.m. to 12, 15 hours and 19 minutes. Anyways, I'm going to eat. Today is Saturday, so I have croissant from the bakery and a huge smoothie, so I can't wait to dive into it. It is day 20 of this fasting protocol, experiment, or whatever, and it's the last day. I'm finishing my fast now. It's almost 1 p.m. I was busy this morning, so it took a little longer to make breakfast. I've been fasting for 15 hours and 39 minutes. We'll see for the next week if my usual bloating is affected or not. So far I can say it's way easier to fast. I don't get as hungry, but when I haven't slept enough and I'm pretty tired like I was this morning, it kind of pisses me off, and some days it's really a struggle, but it's more mental than anything else. I have some pancakes waiting for me. I'll show you that right now and give you a chicken update. So for the last week of the month, I didn't do intermittent fasting, or at least didn't consciously do intermittent fasting, because obviously I sleep and whatnot. I'm not really eating 24/7. That's what she recommends in the book anyway, to avoid intermittent fasting the week before your period, which I just got today. And I want to share with you my results, which, to be fair, I really didn't think I was going to have any results as such, but it turns out at the beginning of this month I did lose some weight. I thought I was going to gain it back, because I thought a big part of it was water weight, but it turns out I've lost like 2.5 pounds, over 8 kilograms, and I was really surprised to see that my weight has steadily gone down even in this last week. I'm happy to say that I didn't feel as bloated as I usually do during my premenstrual phase or the week before my period. I usually feel really bloated, and it was definitely not the case this week, even though my diet was actually worse than it normally is, because I had some social events and probably ate way more junk than I had to. I also thought that because I wasn't fasting, like the effects would kind of wear off, and by the end of this week of no fasting I would be back to normal. But I'm kind of surprised and really happy, so I'm probably going to keep doing intermittent fasting. Not so specific, I'm just going to take into account that I'm a woman. So I think that's the biggest takeaway of all of this. Take into account that you are going to have fluctuations during the month, so just avoid fasting right before your period, and when you have your period and you're ovulating, just fast, but not as long as the rest of the month. And that's pretty much it. I also want to say that I'm really glad I tried this, because I don't really care that much about breakfast now. When I wake up, I actually have half an hour to an hour of taking care of our new chicken, Bonnie, so she gets all of my attention right when I wake up, and when everything is done I go and have breakfast, but it's not as important for me as it used to be. I kind of gotten used to not having breakfast immediately. So I think if you're a woman and you've thought about trying intermittent fasting in the past, or you've tried it but haven't been that successful, just take your hormones into account and note that there are certain periods of the month where it's really bad to fast and others where it's kind of good but not as good as others, and you'll be fine. So that is going to be it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give me a like and see you guys in the next one.